Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video that I'm dropping tonight is actually two. One's a short video, one's a YouTube short. Okay. One is by what is it? Let me look right here. The DC Shorts. Okay. If you don't know that channel, go check that channel out. They put out some really good content. The next one is by a content creator. Now, I'm putting this out, okay, like I said a couple of videos ago, that, you know what, this whole thing about mainstream media and social media and people trying to push and pass their propaganda, their leftist agenda on society, just basically needs to be exposed more and more, okay? And I say that because so many people are being ill-informed, okay? And then you have your shills on the mainstream media, you have your shills on social media, and then you have your shills in society that play a key role, okay, of certain things that are not good for society. Case in point, this doctor right here that we're going to watch his video on. This is a doctor, okay, that takes pride in doing surgery on little kids, transgender surgery on little kids, and supposedly there's proof that he even operated on a 7-year-old child, okay? But he thinks it's all fun and games when Trump says that he is going to pass laws when he gets into office to put a stop to this practice. This man is defiant to say, okay, that no, he will not. Okay, the second video, it's going to be of, you know, one of these leftist content creators, you know, just like, who is it, Harry Sisson and Plackman or whatever his damn name is. You know, the way they just keep going and just putting out information, okay, that, number one, it's not true, okay, but they still project and say that the stuff that we put out is not true. And yet, they just find a way to spin things around to make it fall into their favor, no matter how much proof you try to throw in their faces to counteract, okay, their so-called truth that they put out. They just won't quit. They just keep putting false information out. And the one thing about doing something like that, okay, is that they know that they are going to hook some very weak-minded people. Okay? Now, I'll get to that second clip because there's a little more I want to talk to about that before I play it, but we're going to jump on this one first, okay, so you guys can see for yourselves of how this doctor feels of Trump wanting to put out policies that is going to stop all this this barbaric how can I say, practice of medicine, okay, for lack of a better term. But you're going to see what this guy has to say. Here we go. Check this out.
Dr. Sejan made this video that went viral on TikTok. A group called Stop the Harm made this video targeting Dr. Sejan.
Dr. Javad Sejan has charged for nearly $2 million in claims for surgeries on 120 kids, some as young as 7 years old. He brags about performing the best top surgery for minors and is pushing to do as...
Okay, I'm going to cut it real quick. I don't know if you guys caught that, but right here, okay, and I made a video about this a long time ago, actually, that a lot of these surgeries, these trans surgeries they're mostly doing them on girls, okay? So I don't want anybody to get it twisted. They are doing surgery on boys, but most of the surgeries they're doing is on girls. And right here it says,
performing the best top surgery for minors.
He says he takes pride on doing the best top surgery for minors. That's what they call when they do the surgery on girls, the top surgery. They wind up removing their breast. Okay? So this man is taking pride. They're claiming that he's taking pride in saying that he does the best top surgery for minors. Let that sink in right there. If what this man said, if what they're saying that this man said is true, this man is taking pride, okay, in doing the best top surgery for minors. Let that one sentence sink in. Okay? This is number one, a man. Number two, a doctor. Okay? So, and I point that out specifically for all you leftist feminists out there that think that men are a problem. Okay? Not that it'll make any difference if a female doctor does it. But you guys wrap up so much garbage, okay, that no matter how you try to spin it, no matter how you try to package it, you're not going to sell it because it stinks no matter what. Plain and simple. But let's continue.
And is pushing to do as many of these irreversible surgeries as he possibly can, all while reaching millions of viewers on social media with his own damaging propaganda. This is not care, it's immoral. Sajjan has been sued for unlawfully manipulating reviews of his practice and was forced to pay $1.5 million in restitution to 21,000 families whose worlds were turned upside down with these life-altering operations.
Wow.
The doctor responded to the controversy in this TikTok.
I've been getting threats to my family, threats to my children, threats to my offices. But you know what? I'm not going to stop.
Okay, now that right there, when I seen this, I mean, just totally pissed me off. Okay, the way this man could sit there, okay, come out and say there's been threats to my family, to my children. He is a threat to families and children. That's number one. But for him to come out so brazen and try to be so calm to say that he's not going to stop, these are the sycophants that we have in society, in very high places, okay, that are the cause of so many children falling victim to medical malpractice, and so many adults being brainwashed in order to go along with it and let their children be disfigured for life.
I'm going to increase the security, and I'm going to work harder. If you don't like what I do, if you don't like the people that I serve, keep it to yourself. Instead of focusing on me and my patients, focus on yourself.
Meanwhile, you can see why this doctor might be worried, with Trump declaring his intention to end transgender surgeries on kids, among other things.
Under the Trump administration, it will be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. With a stroke of my pen on day one, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy. And I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation.
There you go.
Get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high school. And we will keep men out of women's sports. And that will likewise be done on day one. Should I do day one, day two, or day three? How about day one, right? On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you?
And that's the way it should be. Okay, but people think that that is a threat. Okay, like that doctor saying. Okay, about leave us people alone, or whatever the hell he was just saying. Basically, making it seem as if, you know what, it's none of your business. Well, I don't know, but if he is going through all those lawsuits, he just made it the public's business, plain and simple. Okay. Let's just take away the fact that he's doing all these surgeries on children. Let's just take that away. Let's just say he was a heart doctor, okay, working on people with bad hearts. and he messed up so many times and lied to so many patients and their families that now they're suing him. Do you think that a heart doctor is going to go and make a video saying, mind your business? I'm going to keep doing what I do? No, they're not. Okay? Especially if they know that they're wrong, that they messed up. They're going to try to stay out the spotlight. But that doctor, just like people on the left that want to be so damn brazen with this whole transgender agenda, okay, that they think that they can pretty much say and do whatever it is they want, no matter how many people they make into victims. The man's reputation is obviously stained, big time, okay? And if it wasn't stained, if none of this was true, then he wouldn't have put out a video like that, which means that he is doing these surgeries and he has messed up. But now he's trying to spin it around as if people are just attacking him for doing the surgeries. Well, here's the thing, okay? If he's doing these surgeries and he has such a good, a very high success rate, where are all the patients defending him? Think about that. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some of them that probably will come to his defense, but the report says that he has 21,000 families, not individuals, families that are against him. It makes you wonder how many people's lives he's already destroyed. How does he get to perform all these surgeries? What in the hell is going on in the medical field? Okay, that these numbers are not even heard of. And let it scare everyone out there that it started out small and this has metastasized like a damn cancer that is spreading throughout. Let that number sink in. If that number is true, let it sink in. This man has affected 21,000 families in a very negative way. But let's continue.
I believe this. I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. And
there you go.
Quickly, I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children.
And I agree. And their licenses should be revoked, okay? And they should just, their bank accounts should just be cleaned out in lawsuits, okay? You are supposed to help people get better. This whole transgender thing has become such a, how can I say, it's this mindset that they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Now, I won't show like the videos, but if you go to a channel, okay, Buck Angel, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that channel. Go to that channel. That content creator goes in depth even more. Okay, that content creator supposedly has been a transgender person for decades now. Okay, and is against children being operated on. Okay, the videos that are shown of the botched surgeries on girls on that video, it is just enough to make it's enough to make you cry. It's enough to make you want to puke. It's enough to turn your stomach. It's enough to ingrain an image in your head for days. Okay? And you have all these people on the left still pushing and pushing and pushing. They won't talk about the consequences. Okay? They won't talk about all the botched surgeries. They won't talk about that. No, we don't want to talk about that. But they'll jump on anybody that's straight, okay, that is very harsh with their kids. They'll jump on that. That's child abuse. Oh, and cutting off little kids' body parts is not? Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago.
Exactly.
Under my leadership, this madness will end.
And there you go. Okay. I mean, it's a short video. It was, like I said, it was put out by the DC. Well, I'll go back again. The DC Shorts. Okay, good channel. Go check them out. But you have this doctor now, and this is just one doctor that's come out. He's not the only one out there. There are plenty of doctors out there, okay, that are doing this. They just choose to stay quiet about it. Okay. Now, what Trump says he wants to do is fine. He wants to make sure that Medicaid and Medicare doesn't pay for all that. That's a good start. But I think they need to go one further. Okay? Just my opinion. I think that these doctors need to lose their medical practice license. I think they just need to be ousted as doctors, because all they've shown is that, number one, they want the money. Number two, they know for a fact as doctors, when they were going to school to become doctors, when they were out there studying to become doctors, they did not operate on so-called transgender people. That's not what they did. They didn't go study anatomy on transgender people. Okay? That is not the way the medical field is. That's not how it started. This whole transgender movement, okay, the way it's exploded, it's what? Maybe 20 years? Since it's gotten so crazy? They're making it seem like when somebody dies and gives their body up to science, that is just some transgender body that they can, check out and, and start practicing medicine on, saying, okay, this is going to be a test today. Take this apart, take that apart, put this part on, put that part on, and then we're going to see if it works. That's not how it goes. The body is dead. There is nothing to see if it works. Okay? And nobody in their right mind that wants to let some doctor do studies on them, just so they can find out if something works, is going to volunteer and say, do it on me, I'll be your guinea pig. That's not how it works. Even if you want the surgery, you don't want to hear, you can practice on me to see if it works. Why? Because none of this works. It's not supposed to work. It wasn't meant to work. And that's why so much damage is being done, especially to these young kids. But we'll see how that battle goes, if it even comes out into the spotlight. The next video I'm going to show you, it's a quick one. I'm going to put my thoughts on it. It's of a content creator. Once again, another one. Okay, another leftist out there just pushing out, their what they feel that is, truth, which is not. And I'll point it out so everybody can see. Because the guy really thinks that he is such a brainiac. But in reality, he's not. All he does is make videos. He points everybody out. Anybody that leaves a comment, he calls them out. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay? He's nothing but a leftist shill. okay, and he thinks that he's standing on a high moral ground, which he's not, okay, but we're going to get to that. Here we go. Okay, so this content creator right here, okay, why it keeps popping up in one of my feeds, I have no idea, but I started looking into him, and of course, for some odd reason, okay, all these, when I turn off, when I log out of my YouTube accounts, on the home pages of YouTube, all you see is all these leftist content creators. I mean, there's just dozens of them. And they got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They got hundreds of thousands of views. And they just spew lie after lie after lie. Propaganda video. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Okay? And it all is against Donald Trump and his supporters. And it makes me wonder. Okay? Because I've done some research on some of these guys. And the good thing about YouTube is that you can go far back from the beginning on a lot of these channels when they started. And believe it or not, I noticed a pattern. Okay? A lot of these content creators basically had nothing. Some of them were doing music videos. Some of them were doing art. Some of them were doing nature. Just simple, channels. And then you start noticing, after 2019, 2020, 2021, where they started jumping on the Trump derangement bandwagon, that their channels just exploded. They went from 20 views on a video, on one of their own personal content videos, to doing a smear campaign video, and it's got tens of thousands of views. So these are all nothing but leftist shills, okay? They feel, you know what? I'm gonna jump on this gravy train. Okay, it's ridiculous. So this guy is one of them, and like I said, he does a lot of shorts, he does a lot of videos, but he always comes up mocking somebody and trying to point them out, trying to make them like sound stupid. Okay, now you can go on his channel and check his stuff out. I really don't care. I mean, it is what it is. Okay, but this one particular video caught my attention. Okay, now I left a comment here. If you guys can see this right up here, a pretty lengthy comment. I'm gonna try to read it to you. Okay, but I want you to hear first what he has to say. Now the question, I guess that somebody sees on my screen is blurry. I don't know why, but I believe it says something about. I guess they're asking him, what are your traditional values, or what traditional values do you believe in? This is his response. Pay attention.
Yeah, we're pretty much against most traditional values. Not all, but most.
Okay, he says that they're pretty much against traditional values. I'm assuming him, his wife, or him, his wife and family, whatever the case is, but check this out.
Traditional values, keep in mind, are values like women don't get to vote. That's a traditional value in this country. Black people are property of white people. That's a traditional value in this country. A traditional value in this country is that members of the LGBTQ plus community don't get to enjoy the right to get married. People who can get pregnant don't get the right to make medical decisions for themselves. Those are traditional values that, yeah, we are dead set against.
Okay, so you just heard all that. The guy's a freaking moron. I'll play it again. I'll play it one more time so you can see what he says, the traditional values that he's against in this country, in America. Listen to it one more time.
Yeah, we're pretty much against most traditional values. Not all, but most. Traditional values, keep in mind, are values like women don't get to vote. That's a traditional value in this country. Black people are property of white people. That's a traditional value in this country. Okay,
I'm going to stop that right there. You guys can go on his channel, go to this video. You can see exactly what I wrote. But basically, this is the deal what I wrote. Okay, I'm not going to be word for word because it's a lot. Number one, he says...
Black
let me go back.
People are property of white people. That's
Nope, not that one.
Keep in mind, are values like women don't get to vote. That's a traditional value in this country.
Okay, women don't get to vote. That's a traditional value in this country. Which woman in this country has been denied to vote in the past, I don't know, 50 years? Which woman in this country has been denied the right to vote that makes it a traditional value? No, there was a time in history in this country where there was nothing but misogynistic men that thought that women shouldn't have the right to vote, and women got together, lest anybody forget, in the 60s and all that, when women started, 40s, 50s, and 60s, when women started burning their bras and stuff, rightly so. I don't know if they should have burned their bras, but I'm just saying that was a form of protest, so they can get more rights. One of them being the right to vote. And it's been like that. It should have been like that from the beginning. There should have been no protest against that. Women should have always had the right to vote. But there was a time when men, a lot of men, not all men, a lot of men that were running shit were misogynistic and thought that women didn't have, that they shouldn't vote. We got rid of that. That's not tradition anymore. Okay? That's fail number one from this brainiac. The second one, listen to it again.
Black people are property of white people. That's a traditional value in this country.
His words. Okay? Black people being the property of white people. That's a traditional value in this country. When did slavery end? When I wrote him, I said, lest you forget, a war was fought to end that. Which white person in this country right now owns a black slave? Tell me, when was the last time a white person owned a black slave in this country? Okay? But yet, like I said, here you go, another leftist shill in this day and age. Now, he put this video out. It says that right here, on this day, December 22nd, 2022. But he's got more modern stuff. I'm just showing this because this popped up as being as of recent. I guess there's a way the timeline comes up and starts showing videos, and that's why he put down on this day. He has a bunch of videos of things that he said on certain days, I guess in December or whatever the case is, at whatever year, 2021, 2022, 2023, whatever the case is. But this man hasn't changed. Okay, so I'll ask the question again. Okay? He's saying that it's tradition for white people to own black people in this country. When was the last time anybody knew a white person that owned a black slave? Okay, that's number two. Let's go on to number three.
A traditional value in this country is that members of the LGBTQ plus community don't get to enjoy the right to get married.
Okay, now he's saying in this country that's a traditional value that they don't have the right to get married. Excuse me, and I wrote down, you guys can read my comment, it was never tradition for gay people to get married. Not in this country, not anywhere around the world, not in this timeline, and not 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago. So for him to say that that was a traditional value, no, it was not. And in every religion on the planet, it is forbidden. So once again, for this freaking brainiac to try to sound smart and spew this bullshit saying that they're taking away the traditional value of gay people not getting married, it was never a tradition. It never had value. It wasn't supposed to have value. But if atheists like this would understand, just go down the road of religion, any religion, being a Buddhist, being a Muslim, being a Christian, you name it, okay? And no, not atheist and a Satanist, you'd understand that it is forbidden for women to marry women and men to marry men. Okay? But just because it's not nationwide, because in a lot of states, gay people do get married. Okay? But he's going to go and spin it around as if they're being hunted down. Listen, this is a country of laws and people vote on certain things. The problem with you leftists is that you want to vote for something to last throughout time. No matter how despicable it is, no matter how immoral it is, what you forget is that you are living in a country where votes turn the balance, okay, of laws, of time, of supposed traditional values. Okay? But, of course, this man's got tens of thousands of subscribers that eat this shit up. Okay? While he's trying to make everybody else seem stupid. But let's get to the last one. Here we go.
People who can get pregnant don't get the right to make medical decisions for themselves. Those are traditional values.
He says women that get pregnant don't have the right to get the medical help they need. Those are traditional values. Once again, let me go back just a little bit. Okay? Abortion, although it's something that is very old, okay, it was never adopted by any society as being a tradition. Okay? Whether you want to go back 10,000 years, up into the present, 1,000 years, it doesn't matter. There is not one society on the planet that thought it would be a good tradition to just, practice abortion. In fact, okay, many civilizations, okay, did not want to lose any of their family members. They wanted to produce more in order to keep their civilizations going, in order to keep their families going, in order to for something as simple as keeping a name, a last name going. Okay? Because what would happen is the people that usually got abortions, and if I'm wrong, somebody leave it in the comments, okay? But from all the history that I read, most of the time abortions were done because a woman was unfaithful. And she didn't want anybody to find out. Whether she was married or she wasn't married, it was as if, you know what, this is bad. I cannot go out into public. I will be frowned upon. Okay? Prostitutes, okay, were getting abortions. Unfaithful women were getting abortions. Unfaithful men, they got a woman pregnant and he will go and say, you know what, we can't have this. There was no tradition, okay, in getting married. I should say there was no tradition in getting pregnant and saying, you know what, it's tradition that if we don't want it, we'll just get an abortion. That's not how it works. Okay? So for him to make it seem as if it was tradition, okay, that it was a normal thing, but then people took it upon themselves to make a tradition to go and not let women get abortions, that's false. Totally false. Okay? But he's going to spew it out anyway, because you know why? There's a bunch of sheep-minded people out there by the tens of thousands in this country, and maybe abroad, that are going to eat this crap up. And they're going to believe it. And he knows they're going to believe it. That's why he spews it. Okay? Because what he does, he vilifies, he mocks, and he condescends. If you look at every video he puts out, that's all he does. He condescends people as if he's some damn brainiac. Okay? Now let's speed it up if he wants to talk about it as it happening in the present. Once again, because what he's basically getting at is the whole Supreme Court thing of overturning Roe versus Wade. Okay? Which the Supreme Court says the government should not be involved in making those decisions. Leave it up to the states. In other words, let the people vote for it. Case in point. During the election, okay, in Florida, there was a couple of bills that people needed to vote on. One of them was the legalization of recreational marijuana. Okay? Even though they got the votes, there was some other, side laws, I guess you could say, that it wouldn't pass. So even though they had the votes, it didn't pass. Okay? The whole thing with abortion. They didn't get enough votes to make abortion legal in Florida. So what did they do? It got voted down. See how that works? Why? Because even though the small leftist minority in this country want these big, immoral, laws passed, get it through your heads. You're lost. You don't have the votes. You're losing more votes. You're losing more people from your party. Because you people have become so damn extreme, okay, that you think, okay, getting an abortion is tradition. You think that owning slaves is still tradition to this day in this country. You think that gay people getting married has always been tradition. Okay? I mean, what was the first one? Oh, that's right. That women can't vote. If women can't vote, okay, who was on the Supreme Court making the decision about Roe versus Wade? As a matter of fact, I believe there was women on the Supreme Court that helped it pass the first time. You moron. And just in case you don't understand the meaning of the term you're using, traditional value, okay? It says traditional values are the standard and values that have continued in a group of people or society for a long time without changing. Need I say more? I just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay? I mean, you act like you're such this big brainiac. The way you condescend people. The way you make it seem like, oh, I'm against this, I'm against that, I'm against this, I'm against traditional values. I'll read it again. Okay? Traditional values are the standards and values, okay, that have continued in a group of people, and I'm reading slow because maybe if I read slow, you'd probably understand it a little more, okay, or society for a long time without changing. Meaning that once it changed, it is no longer traditional values. But you knew that, right? You knew that. Yeah, I'm sure you did. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for this country. Pray for your enemies. And pray for Donald Trump. Peace.